Hello and welcome to the United Stands. This is your Manchester United transfer news daily where we talk about all the latest Manchester United transfer news and give it that real fan opinion. Another week starts. Will we get some deals over this week? I've got a feeling there is going to be some movement this week with United after a very quiet week last week. But let's start off with the big one to start off with was Willian. Played for Brazil last night. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to judge Willian. I know me and Sophie spoke about it on Sunday Night Live last night. I hope you've watched that. Very good show. Sophie thought he played well. I didn't. I thought he was a bit like Neymar, not great. But you don't judge. You got to be very careful about judging players on the World Cup. The World Cup is just a football festival for a month every 4 years, and we enjoy it. But I judge Willian on what he's done in the Premier League, and his Premier League proven he would be probably a better right midfield option than what we've got at the moment with Lingard and Mata. So would I welcome him at Manchester United? Depends. I think we should be going better than Willian, really. But the story is in the Daily Mail, so maybe take it with a pinch of salt. But they're saying that Mourinho's looking for a reunion with Willian, a £60 million deal. And to be honest with you, if I was Chelsea, I would snap the hands off of Manchester United for that. £60 million for Willian. We'd be mugs to pay it, and Chelsea would be ridiculously silly not to take it. He turns 30 years of age in August. £60 million for him is way, way overpriced. So that would lead me to think that there's nothing in that story in relation to that particular detail. However, what I have said about Willian before is that I think I can see him coming to United this summer, and I think it would be a deal that United will take their patience on because Mourinho knows what he's getting with Willian. Premier League proven, he brought him to the Premier League and he knows what he gets with him. So I think it'd be a deal where Willian would be saying to Woodward, don't worry about that deal. If we can do it at the end. Do it the week before the Premier League starts. Don't need him on the US tour. I know exactly what he can do. He can come in late like Matic did. So don't stress about that one and crack on. Of course, Chelsea are going to change their manager. Will Willian want to stay or will he want a new challenge? Interesting to wait and see with that. But wouldn't be surprised to see Willian coming to Manchester United. Just watch this space. He's in the World Cup and I think we'll show a bit of patience with that. But I'd be amazed if we went anything over 40 million for him, which again, I think Chelsea would go for. But personally, I would prefer better options than that. I don't know what you think about Willian. Give us your comments below. Good player, but at 30, I just think we need to be going a little bit different than that. A little bit different. Something very, very different than that would be Jack Wilshere. He apparently is going to leave Arsenal. He's available on a free. I think there was a feeling that he would sign a new contract at Arsenal, but at 26, mid-20s, probably looking at maybe going on out somewhere else. There are United fans there who are saying, United shouldn't get him. He's free. Go and get him. As I said yesterday, my opinion on free is that we're Manchester United and free doesn't really come into the equation. I look at what the player is. If we want Jack Wilshere and he had 3 years left on his contract and he wanted to come to United, I don't care if we pay 50 million for him or he's free. Free doesn't matter. Free only matters to our owners who save money. To us, we don't do anything out of free. So Jack Wilshere to Manchester United, would I want him? To be honest with you, not a bad player, but he's not going to the World Cup because he's not fit enough. He doesn't stay fit for a long enough period of time. And that, for me, is end of the conversation. I think we've got our own sort of Jack Wilshere in many ways who plays centre-back, and his name's Phil Jones. And he divides opinion. I personally would sell Phil Jones because it doesn't matter if he's the best centre-back in the world. You can't build a team around him because from one week to the next, you never know whether he's going to be fit. And that's the same with Jack Wilshere. It doesn't matter how good he is for me. There's so many question marks about his fitness. So it would be a big, flat no for me. And also, he is somebody who's come through the Arsenal system. He is somebody who has got a lot of passion for Arsenal. I'm still a bit old school with that. I don't really want you. I think if you're not going to stay at Arsenal, you really should be going to somebody abroad. If Arsenal means a lot to you, you shouldn't be going to anyone else in the Premier League. But that's up to him. It's a big no from me for Jack Wilshere. And let's turn on to Skriniar, who's a centre-back for Inter Milan. We've mentioned him before, just 23, 6'2", Slovakian centre-back, moved to Inter Milan from Sampdoria last summer and has been a revelation. Very, very good centre-back, very powerful, not bad on the ball, real fighter. Think of Nemanja Vidic, that sort of a centre-back. We have mentioned him a couple of times this summer already, and obviously with Manchester United, there are fans out there who feel we should be going for a centre-back. I think this weekend may have made me think even more that we might need a centre-back. I've always thought that Well, Lindelof's playing today. Remember to watch on That's Football. We're doing a watch along again. We're doing every World Cup game. We're doing a watch along on That's Football, which is our channel that just covers all football. So Lindelof today, we'll be watching him. But I did watch Rojo against Iceland at the weekend, and he was atrocious. I mean, you shouldn't judge people on World Cup performances because it's very hard to gauge what the standard of a World Cup is comparable to Champions League and Premier League. But defensive basics should be straightforward, and Rojo, he seems to have lost it lately. I often thought last season, why is Mourinho picking Jones and Smalling ahead of Rojo, especially Jones, who was playing the left-sided centre-back position, which is Rojo's because he's left-footed. But seeing Rojo recently for United and in Argentina, he was terrible in that friendly for Spain, wasn't he? And he was awful against Iceland as well. So he presents a problem for United, a bit like Jones and Smalling now. Are these good enough? So we've got a lot of centre-backs, but are they good enough? We've got Eric Bailly, who Mourinho wasn't playing. We've got Lindelof, who I think can be good enough, but there's queries about him. And then you've got Smalling, Jones and Rojo, who are also mid to late 20s and not good enough. So I'm starting to think maybe we do need a centre-back. Skriniar, United have been reportedly putting bids in for him up to £60 million, but Inter Milan are adamant they won't sell. And as I said before, Inter Milan have got money now with their new investors. So how United could make that deal happen when he's only been at Inter Milan for a year, I think it might be almost impossible for us to do it, which is a shame because I think he's a really good up-and-coming centre-back that would suit us really well. Of interest, just from the World Cup, somebody that did catch my eye over the weekend was Milenkovic, who played centre-back with Tadic for Serbia. And he did really very, very good. And he's already been sort of identified as the next Vidic. Very, very tall. I think he might be 6'5". He did play well yesterday against Costa Rica. It was Costa Rica. Where is he playing at the moment? He's at Fiorentina. He went to Fiorentina last summer as well. So he's only been there a year, like Skriniar's been at Inter. And he's doing quite well, but he's only 20, so I don't see United going for him. But he's certainly one to keep an eye on through this World Cup and for the future. And if you're good enough, you're good enough, aren't you? I don't know. Anyway, on to this week. Are we going to do any business this week? I think keep your eye around Juventus and what's going to happen there. This Darmian deal's been rumbling on for ages. We've spoken about it before. The most boring transfer. The ongoing transfer of the summer so far. Darmian's going to go back to Italy. Juventus want him. There's bartering of the price between 10 and 20 million. So that deal's interesting, but there's so many subplots to the Juventus United dynamic. Martial, if he's going to go, could go to Juventus. It seems to tick all the boxes for everybody if he's going to go. United need a left back. Sandro seems to want to go. United would be perfect. Then you've got Dybala as a long shot, but then you've also got Milinkovic-Savic potentially going to Juventus, so the United-Juventus dynamic could be really, really interesting. I think this week, surely the weeks are running out. The World Cup is not going to be fundamental to United stopping doing business. This didn't happen, and I'll keep repeating myself here. 2 years ago, Pogba was in the Euros, and they went all the way to the final, and we were still doing that Pogba deal. Zlatan was playing in the Euros and we got that deal done. So deals should still be happening, not just with United, with other clubs. These should start happening. I just think last week, all the press have gone out to Russia. Everything's focused on Russia. And I just feel like the footballing world, in a club sense, sort of went, okay, let's just let the World Cup have its thing. Apart from Griezmann, who made a video about himself. I think this week and next week, we've got to start see things happening because we're only 8 weeks left of this transfer window. When the World Cup finishes, United go on tour. So there's always going to be something. And I think United have got so much to do. We need to see things happening. And I think we will start to see things happening this week. And I think Juventus could be the big thing. Also, we need to get that Fred deal over the line, don't we? Anyway, please do drop a like on the video. Some quite contentious points to get your comments in below. Willian, would you like to see that happen? Jack Wilshere, would you do that deal? Skriniar, centre-back. Do we need to be getting a centre-back? Boateng, I watched him for Germany yesterday. And again, I think defensive things you can judge on. And I thought defensively, he looked too slow for the Premier League. His ball distribution's quite good. He's obviously big and strong. But I didn't like the way the Mexicans were getting at him, and he looked like he was all over the place in a one-on-one or a 1v2. He just didn't seem to have the pace. And in the Premier League, you've got to have that. So, yeah, Boateng. And again, he's another player touching 30. So I would rather we went for a younger centre-back, to be honest. But if we're going to do that, we've got to move centre-backs on. England are playing today, so the United Stand, we've been moving the 8 o'clock show to 9 o'clock. There may not be a 9 o'clock show tonight. We'll see how it goes. But there will be a 7 o'clock show, and it will be on That's Football. England versus Tunisia. If you enjoy the watch-alongs on the United Stand and you enjoy watching me getting a little bit passionate and a little bit stressed, then the England game will be a good one to watch. But I'm also doing 1 o'clock on That's Football, Sweden versus South Korea. So if you are watching World Cup games and you want a bit of company, a bit of interactivity, get yourself over onto That's Football. We've also got Flex and Rants. They're doing a weekly video. If you didn't see it last week, it was brilliant. That's going up again today. So keep your eye out for that. Obviously, any breaking transfer news will go live as per usual. Thanks everyone for watching. Get your comments in below. And here's for another big week in the World Cup and hopefully with Manchester United as well. I'll speak to you all soon.